Picture this. It's a quiet Tuesday evening. Your dog is lying calmly by the couch, eyes half closed, and then something flips. In half a second, the ears go up, the back end drops into a tuck, and your dog is a furry blur tearing a frantic lap around the living room. If you've ever lived with a dog, you know exactly what this 20-second burst of chaos looks like. They bounce off the sofa, skid across the rug, and then stop and flop down as if nothing happened. When we see that wild dash, we tend to draw a single logical conclusion. The dog has too much energy, and they need to burn it off. Veterinary behaviorists call this a frenetic random activity period, or FRAP. It serves as a biological release valve, allowing the dog to discharge whatever internal emotions have built up during the day. But here we run into a major headache for animal behavior researchers. Take a look at this diagram comparing high physical activity. These two trend lines show that a dog who is intensely, positively thrilled reaches the exact same peak physical output as a dog who is moderately overwhelmed. The engine revs up either way. Speed alone is an unreliable narrator. If you try to translate how your dog is feeling just by watching how fast they run, you are missing half the story. And depending on which emotion is actually driving them, your reaction might be exactly the wrong one. Let's look at the first engine driving this behavior, joy. The classic setup is the moment you walk through the front door after being gone all day long. Your return triggers a massive release of dopamine in your dog's brain. That chemical reward creates a sudden surplus of affection and excitement that literally has nowhere else to go. To recognize this, we have to look past the speed. This anatomical schematic shows the posture of a happy dog in motion. You want to look for an overall shape that feels loose and elastic. The physical micro-cues here are springy movements. The tongue is usually flapping out the side, the tail tucks under aerodynamically for speed, and somewhere in the middle of the run you'll see a play bow, front legs down, rear end high in the air. When you see that combination of a soft mouth, bouncy strides, and a wiggly body, you are watching a safe, healthy overflow of happiness. Now, consider a different scenario. You're hosting a dinner party. The house is loud, strangers are walking through the door, and the kitchen is pure chaos. This highly stimulating environment floods your dog's system with stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline. The frantic running that follows is the body's attempt to bleed off that uncomfortable internal pressure. In this schematic, the physical tension is obvious. You are no longer looking for bounce. You are looking for rigidity, jerky movements, and a posture that borders on desperation. The tail stays clamped tight against the belly. The head remains low, the ears pin back flat, and the eyes widen enough to show the whites. When owners see a dog winding up like this, our deepest instinct is usually to grab a tennis ball. We assume the answer is to throw it until the dog is too tired to pace. But piling high-intensity exercise onto a dog that is already overwhelmed creates a trap. Keeping the arousal high prevents that initial cortisol spike from switching off, meaning your dog stays locked in a prolonged state of physiological stress. Pushing a dog to physical exhaustion does not calm their nervous system. Those are two completely separate physical goals. Once you know which Zoomie you're watching, the action plan is simple. If the dog is loose and bouncy, just manage the environment. Clear away sharp coffee table edges, watch out for slippery floors, and let the joy run its natural course. If you see the tense, clamped body language, do the opposite. Lower your own energy. Soften your voice, stop adding stimulation, and gently guide your dog into a quiet space so they have a chance to land. This forces us to reevaluate a widely held belief in dog ownership, the idea that a good dog is an exhausted dog. Most dogs require a startling amount of sleep to maintain emotional balance. Without enough daily downtime, their baseline arousal stays high, making it much easier for small triggers to tip them into a frantic, jangly state. Instead of relentless games of fetch, an over-aroused dog benefits from decompression, gentle problem-solving with a puzzle toy, or a slow walk where they can quietly drag their nose through the grass, does significantly more to soothe a frazzled nervous system. These 20-second sprints offer a direct window into how your dog is actually feeling. Reading the body instead of the speed allows you to transition from simply managing a pet to truly understanding your best friend.